first off, just a topic.
Okay.
What do you think of Rock Band, the video game, as it pertains to the drums?
That's a good one, man. That's a really good question. I think there's pros and cons to it for sure. Let's start with the pros because I think they outnumber the cons for something like Rock Band. I think anything that can help escort somebody from being uninterested in music to being interested in music is really, really good. And this is I feel the same way about movies like Whiplash or like anything that brings the drum industry to like a larger audience that sort of widens the appeal. I love that. I love that as an educator as well, because it means potentially these are people who could at some point want to take this seriously and that they might find my videos enjoyable and my content valuable. So I like it for that reason. I think Rock Band introduced tons of people to the idea of performing and playing music and potentially learning an instrument, and they otherwise may have not been interested at all. But there is a huge con here, and one of them would be that if you're just playing a video game, using proper technique it's not really that important, right? Who cares if you're holding the sticks in a weird sort of way? And if you learned how to hold drumsticks and hit a pad with those drumsticks for 2 or 3 years playing Rock Band, and nobody ever showed you how to sort of amend your technique in a certain way, man, you could really lock in some bad habits. And of course, as a teacher, anybody who's ever taught drum lessons before, half of the battle is undoing people's habits. It's finding what they learned that was incorrect and sort of backtracking and making them relearn things that they should have learned the first time around, but they lock in some bad habits. It happens to everybody. And so I think that's one of the big cons, is that someone who gets introduced to the drum industry or playing drums through Rock Band, it was probably not that serious in the beginning. There was probably no real instruction of technique. So they might have been playing from their elbows for 3 years or gripping the sticks way too tight, things like that. But, aside from that, I think it's overwhelmingly a positive thing in the drum industry. Again, anything that can escort somebody from being a non-musician to being an early musician or a potential musician. I'm a huge fan of that. And one area where you can kind of see this happen was years ago, 90s movie Karate Kid. When that came out, there was like an explosion of martial arts within American culture. And I think that kind of happens when movies like Whiplash come out. And I'm sure a portion of the drum industry is indebted to something like Rock Band, in that this had to have created tens of thousands, if not, 6 figures of new drummers, right? I mean, at least 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 drummers, people who would have never otherwise been interested, are now interested in drums in some capacity because of those 4 little pads and the little shitty maple sticks that they sent along with them, So I'm going to have to give it the accent for sure. And just watch your technique. If you ever want to take it seriously, you're going to have to come revisit that. So learning bad habits would be the only real con. But an overwhelming accent for sure on Rock Band.
Who would have thought? I really thought you would have ghosted that. I thought you would have just talked trash and said it's just 4 rubber pads with no rebound. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, gamifying anything, I guess it devalues the art of drums. But I would look at it as more like the catalyst for someone to get into drums, sort of early on in there, right? It's not that... I guess it's a little annoying if that's the only thing they ever did, and they had this image that they were a drummer, and but if you're having fun, who cares, right? Who cares? I just like the idea that someone could be not interested in drums. They find Rock Band and get somewhat interested, and then that person eventually becomes a drummer. I could see that happening to like half the people that do it, right? So yeah, it's hard to hate on for sure.
Sweet, that's so wholesome. Aw.
If you're looking for more content like this, come join me on OrlandoDrummer.com. It's my online drum school. You can try it for free at the link in the description for 7 days. You can head to the website or download the iOS or Android apps. Poke around, have some fun, see if it's for you. We would love to have you on board. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.